Hi everybody, welcome to Megan Sullivan Art. I have just this little video to show you of just some small notebooks that I've been making using some of my fluid acrylic painting offcuts as the covers. So I've done bigger journals, but these are just particularly little small notebooks. So they all have a different range of sort of fairly coordinating coloured papers and some interesting sort of fabric linings to them, and they all have a tie closure. So I'll run you through them all. So we'll start with this little one first. So this one is 7 centimetres wide by 13 centimetres tall. It's got 88 pages, and it's just got this ribbon closure which I've stitched on, and the spine's been covered with a pink ribbon. And this is the painting front and back. So that's the whole cover of that one. So all metallic paints was on this one, and it's been lined with a purple shimmery kind of fabric, which I got from an Indian article of clothing. And I did use the lining of this one, or for the cover I think actually, of my medieval journal that I did, which had already sold. So we've just got a range of different dyed papers. So this is RIT dyed paper, coffee, RIT. So RIT is a fabric dye, which I use for paper. So this is RIT dyed paper as well. This is a card which was dyed with RIT paper. Actually, it's matte photo paper, so one side really took up the dye and the other side didn't. Coffee, so it's a combination of RIT dyes. This one is a RIT dye as well, and that's translucent paper it's called, so it's got like a small texture to that. And then this is avocado dyed paper, that one. And this is RIT dyed paper as well. So there's a fold out on both sides of the signature for that one. Yeah, so just a plain, simple little notebook, which is easy to throw in your bag. And that's the middle of the signature. So the only thing that will be added to this is just my label, my sticker on there that'll be glued on as well. So that's that little one. That just wraps around, and I will trim that off in a V. So that just wraps and tucks in there. Oops. Usually quite simply, but never when you're filming. This silver and orange one, this is 7.5 centimetres by 14, and this one has 96 pages. And it's just, I've tied the ribbon to the actual binding, and it's just this nice orange colour, just perfectly matches that. And inside is like a quilted fabric piece that I got second hand, and so that's the front cover of that one completely. So that's just tied on there. You could take it off if you want to, but it is sort of it's a bit bold, like it'll just open up like that. So yeah, so 96 pages for this one. So this has got some orange RIT dyed paper. So that's coffee, that's RIT dyed, and this one actually you may see some imprints of gum leaves on this one. So this is more of a card, kind of a cardstock. This was some paper I'd played around with some acrylic inks on, and it was RIT dyed, and then I put the inks over the top. So that's quite metallic. Some coffee dyed, RIT dyed, coffee, and back to the orange. So there you can see the gum leaf imprint on that one. Coffee, RIT. That's coffee dyed. And the pages have been torn, so I've left the pages all rough on the edges. Just kind of that rustic kind of look. Interesting coffee dyeing, because I dry my papers in the microwave, so you get this kind of mottled effect as the papers steam. So that's really something interesting to try, to give you different effects with the coffee dyeing. And the middle, and then it just repeats obviously on the other side. So again, my sticker will be added to the back of that one. So that's that little one. Oops. Ew. That didn't work too well. I'll have to show you my filming setup one day, because it is quite interesting, but it works. Okay, so this purple one here is 8 centimetres by 15.5. And it has 116 pages in it, this one. And this one I've adhered the ribbon to the cover with some stitching. And this one has a blue and white, dark blue and white fabric lining. Stitched all the way through, and that's the full front cover. A little bit of metallic in there, but it's quite a dark colour with a few sort of magenta highlights through it. Much more probably prettier in person than you'll catch on the camera because of the glare. So this one has some card dyed with Rit dye, which is a purple and a dark blue colour. We have line paper in this one, as well as Rit dyed and coffee dyed parchment paper there. That's Rit dyed tracing paper, coffee dyed. Some really interesting effects on the purple cardstock papers, which is really nice. So we've got some real vintage. Well, by vintage, I mean it's probably, you know, 20 or so years old. It's not really vintage, but you know, it's old enough. Coffee dyed, Rit dyed. This is a granite paper, as it's called, but it's been coffee dyed, so it was like a very pale, you know, powdery blue coloured paper before I Rit dyed it. And that's the other side. That's that one. Next one, this one's a bit bigger in size. It's 11.5 by 14.5 centimetres, and this one has 100 pages. This one, and so that's this cover in its entirety. There is some metallic bronze painting through there, so very much a sky kind of landscape feel to this one. And I've lined this one with a shibori style fabric to capture the blues. And then we have a lot of the orange papers, which have a metallic ink sprays or acrylic ink sprays on those. So these are Rit dyed papers. Then we have line paper in here again. Eco dyeing. So this is some of my eco dyeing of some yellow shrubs from Alice Springs. Some Rit dyed tracing paper. This is Rit dyed paper again. You'll see there's some metallic elements to that. More eco dyeing. The paper with the sprays and the inks. This black portion you'll see on these eco-dyed papers actually came from the Sturt Desert Pea, which is a South Australian flower, but it also grows really amazingly well up here in random places. Metallic sprays there. Some brown Rit dyed paper with a lot of gold elements to that. This eco-dyeing is actually using grapevine leaves, which just came out so detailed. It's obviously only a portion of the full page, but really interesting results there. So there's the Sturt Desert Pea again appearing. And really the leaves, although they're beautiful red, don't do anything. It's the black pods in the middle that actually create the colour. And some of the stem as well. Middle of the signature, metallic sprays, and continuing on the other side. And so that's my little mini notebooks. I have got many, many more in the works. So stay tuned for those. But these are the ones I have at the moment. I'll put these up on Etsy, no doubt. So stay tuned for the link to the Etsy listing for these individual. Obviously, they won't be very expensive pieces because they're fairly simple. Alrighty, thanks very much. See you on the next video. Bye.